This is stuff you like, and Sister Michael gives me life. Also, I literally just finished watching the last episode of Derry Girls like an hour ago, so yeah, we need to talk about Derry Girls. Derry Girls is a sitcom set in Derry or Londonderry, depending on your persuasion, in the 90s. It features 16-year-old Erin, her dippy cousin Orla, short wussy friend Claire, mouthy dark-haired friend Michelle, and Michelle's unfortunately English cousin James, the only boy in their all-girls Catholic school because they were worried he would get beaten up with the boys. It's on Channel 4, or it was on Channel 4. You should watch it. You should really watch it. It's just hilarious. I mean, for a start, I just appreciate any show which uses the phrase catch yourself on, because it's an expression I really kind of miss. It's full of one-liners which are sharp enough to cut. It's a perfect period piece with the clothes and the hair and the music and the decor. It absolutely nails the attitudes, like in the first episode there's a bomb on the bridge and people's reactions are,
"Bloody bomb. I beg the Brits to let me take my chances, but the awkward bastards made me go the long way."
well, yes. It gets better over the course of the 6 episodes, and the last episode is just perfect. And it's so normal. I mean, there's an episode dedicated to a school trip to Paris that they want to go on, and a fish and chip shop. I mean, as in all sitcoms, ridiculous things happen, but as in good sitcoms, they are grounded in absolute banal normality. Or what passes for banal normality in Derry in the 90s anyway. I used to watch Give My Head Peace, which was topical political humour in sitcom form. It focused on an RUC officer who married a Catholic girl, and then later her sister. Don't ask, it was a thing. And they're highly dysfunctional families, but they both lived in Belfast. Billy and Uncle Andy lived in East Belfast, and Ma and Da and Cal lived in Divis Towers. And I really loved it as a teenager, though I hear that the most recent episodes were not quite so good. But Derry Girls resonates with me because, and I'm in no way alone in this, it feels like it was made for me. I grew up in the back end of nowhere, and I went to a Protestant school in an entirely different part of the country, and I wasn't a teenager until the early 2000s, but man, some things just don't change. And some things change a little bit, but not enough to matter. And when I say it's mostly about teenage girls, it's mostly not about boys or romance or whatever, though there is a bit of that. It's about everyday life and dealing with family and school and having a really close-knit group of friends, and man, that nostalgia, it hits hard. Alright, so this is the part of the episode where if you haven't watched Derry Girls, you should go and do that, because we are going to be discussing some serious spoilers from the finale, and I would not deprive you of the experience of watching it. Maybe also stay out of the comment section. Just take my word for this. Go watch it. Are they gone? Right. The season finale, more than anything, reminded me of Blackadder Goes Forth, and in the best possible way, because I really loved that show too. The contrast of the girls and James dancing while the Quinn family watch the news where a dozen people have been killed. It was very poignant. It was really good, Lisa McGee. I'm not crying, you're crying. And I especially liked it because it nails the thing that's really hard to explain to people sometimes about growing up during the Troubles. There is a lot, in fact, most of your life is stuff that other people would consider normal. Revising for exams, or dancing to Saturday Night, or having crushes on boys, or girls for that matter, but we'll get to that. It's just that your life is sometimes peppered with experiences which are not at all normal to other people. But they're entirely normal to you, and they're entirely normal to the people around you, and most of the time you don't really think about how people's experiences might differ outside of your part of the world. Oh, and if you're anything like me, you probably ended up on Wikipedia at the end of the episode trying to figure out if the bombing was a reference to a particular bombing, and Lisa McGee said no, it wasn't a particular bombing she had in mind, but there were a depressing number to choose from. The other big revelation for the episode was that Claire is a lesbian, and I think they handled it really, really well. Because when Claire goes to Erin and comes out, Erin is shocked. Erin, who, as Lisa McGee says, thinks of herself as so worldly and so wise and so liberal, who chides people for their homophobia, and she sticks her foot right in her mouth. I mean, this is a fairly typical character trait of Erin anyway, but shock does make people do stupid things, and having to radically rejig the mental picture of someone who's been close to you for a long time is kind of shocking. Erin also assumes that Claire fancies her, which is pitch perfect to Erin's me view of the universe, which allows us Claire's wonderful, wonderful response of,
Not interested in you like that look of this stadium.
I don't know about anybody else, but I just appreciated that moment a lot. It hurts, though, when Erin doesn't react the way Claire wants her to. And it hurts again, though, in a good way, when James goes to sit with Claire during the talent show. Michelle is generally too self-involved to do something like that, and she's more Erin's friend than she is Claire's, but I love James. I do. He reminds me very much of someone I know. They even have the same hair. But yeah, it's so good, and so funny, and so poignant, and so true. And okay, maybe Claire's story coming out as a Catholic lesbian in Derry in the 90s is unusually rosy, but I like that too. It's hopeful and it's sweet and it's kindness in the midst of horror, and sometimes we'll take what we can get. If nothing else, I hope it's something of an encouragement to all the Claires still out there, you know? That's about it for this week, I think. If you want to, leave your favourite line or your favourite thing or your favourite character from Derry Girls in the comments. If you want to support the show to see more things like this, you can always go to Patreon. And regardless, I'll see you all next time. Catch yourself on.